Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Keith Thompson, and I will be your host this evening. Tonight's special guests are the Kruger brothers. Too numerous to list, the Kruger brothers have received many honors and awards over the years, both nationally and internationally. Their portion of the show is guaranteed to get your toes a-tappin' and your heart a-flappin'. But before we continue, we would like to thank our sponsors because their funding is vital to the Kalamazoo Concert Band's mission, which is to bring quality musical performances just like tonight's to our community free of charge. So at this time, we would like to recognize the Burdick Thorne Foundation, the H.P. and Genevieve Conable Foundation, the Tyler Little Family Foundation, and the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, which continues to be our most gracious supporter. Please join me in thanking them. You know, there's a kind of magic that touches the world at Christmas time, and it comes to us in many ways. There are many signs, through the sound of familiar carols, through the smell of pine trees that have been freshly cut, the rich taste of eggnog, the laughter of children trimming the tree, the warm wishes from friends and relatives, and of course, the glow of a warm fireplace. All of these and more give Christmas its special holiday radiance. And as many of you know, there's also a special kind of magic associated with the holiday concerts that are given by the Kalamazoo Concert Band. And it's a tradition that gives our city yet another reason to say, yes, Virginia, there is a Kalamazoo. And now, without any further ado, please welcome conductor Dr. Thomas G. Evans and the Kalamazoo Concert Band. You know, joy is different than happiness. Happiness is something that measures how good we feel over time. But joy is about feeling good in the moment. And this simple distinction between those two has big implications. It seems that our culture is obsessed with the pursuit of happiness, but in the process, sometimes we kind of overlook joy. We pursue the things that we think will make us happy, but in the process, we often find that we're too busy or maybe too exhausted to appreciate joy. Yet joy is a lot more immediate and it's a lot more accessible than happiness. And ironically, it may be one of the most powerful routes to happiness. So rather than chasing after happiness, maybe we should focus on joy instead. And if joy is an emotion that's measured in the moment, then the 19th century author and playwright Oscar Wilde captures that sentiment beautifully with this quote: "When it rains, look for rainbows, and when it's dark, look for stars." And with that said, we hope that you'll find joy in our next selection, Joyful World. If you like jaunty, bouncy, spirited Christmas carols, then surely you must love Ding Dong Merrily on High. And like many traditional carols, this one was written hundreds of years ago. The earliest record that we have of the song dates to 1588, and that makes it, of course, at least 437 years old. However, the piece originally had nothing to do with Christmas. Rather, it was music that was used for French dances. And in fact, the music circulated through Europe for more than 300 years as a dance tune, until the year 1924, when an Anglican priest added lyrics to create the Christmas carol that we know today as Ding Dong Merrily on High. And here's a fun fact. The O in Gloria is a long melismatic phrase that requires carolers to sing 33 syllables in just one breath. Try that. Now, to conduct this popular and festive Christmas carol, please welcome the assistant conductor of the Kalamazoo Concert Band, Mr. Brian Shetterly. Have you ever felt music so deeply within you that you found yourself experiencing a level of emotion that you never knew existed? If so, then you know that music has this remarkable ability to evoke deep feelings. It can uplift your spirit. It can calm your mind. It can even transport you to another world. The saying, "when words leave off, music begins," means that music can express emotions and feelings and ideas that are too complex or profound for language to fully capture. And it suggests that while words have limitations, music has the power to communicate these deeper meanings beyond speech, evoking feelings, evoking memories, and a sense of connection that words alone cannot. And while our next selection was written for a four-voice choir, our arrangement is for instruments alone. And yet, as you'll hear, words are not necessary to convey the piety and the reverence embodied within. And when asked about the text, the composer shared these words. For centuries, composers have been inspired by the beautiful O Magnum Mysterium text, with its depiction of the birth of the newborn king amongst lowly animals and shepherds. This affirmation of God's grace to the meek and the adoration of the blessed birth are celebrated in my setting through a quiet song of profound inner joy. And yet, when the composer was asked point blank what it is about his music that goes so deep inside us, he admitted, "I don't know. I strive to go to those places that are beyond words, that cannot be explained. And for me, these are very sacred places." He continues by saying, "When you experience something that is so profound, there is no way you can begin to express it through words or really by any other means." So for the next 6 minutes, we encourage you to sit back and reflect on the power and the majesty and the ethereal beauty of this piece. And as the music washes over you, we hope that you're able to embark on an inner journey of profound emotions and grasp the meaning of a song without words. The tradition of going from house to house carol singing has an uncertain heritage, but it may have its origins in medieval times when watches, which included musicians, patrolled England's towns and cities in order to keep order. However, carol singing really came into its own in Victorian times with the advent of the Victorian Christmas. And this was when Christmas became a holiday that families could enjoy and celebrate and would have music in the home. It was a big part of these celebrations. And the tradition of singing carols after the Christmas meal then quickly grew in popularity. A separate tradition of wassailing also existed as far back as Anglo-Saxon times, and the word wassail probably comes from the Old Norse vesheil, meaning be well and in good health. It was a toast. But by the Victorian period, wassailers were caroling groups who went round the town and would be rewarded with a hot, spiced, often cider-based drink known as wassail. And today, carol singers can be usually found in town squares and shopping centers and hospitals and nursing homes. And rather than waiting to be rewarded with a cup of wassail, modern carolers are more likely to ask for donations to charity. And that said, a mulled glass of wine is often very welcome. And while we can't offer you any mulled wine, for we would get in a lot of trouble, we can offer you the opportunity to sing along with the Kalamazoo Concert Band carolers. And so we ask now that you please lift your voice and join us in singing Merry Christmas, everyone.
Joyful and triumphant.
And now, a poem by the prolific poet Anonymous. 'Twas a month after Christmas, and all through the house, nothing would fit me, not even a blouse. The cookies I'd nibble, the eggnog I'd taste, all of the holiday parties had gone to my waist. When I got on the scales, there arose such a number. When I walked to the store, less a walk than a lumber. I remember the marvelous meals I'd prepared, the gravies and the sauces and the beef nicely seared, the wine and the rum balls and the bread and the cheese, and the way that I'd never said, "No, thank you, please." As I dressed myself in my husband's old shirt and prepared once again to do battle with dirt, I said to myself, as I only can, you can't avoid spending winter with my clan. So away with the last of the sour cream dip. Get rid of the fruitcake, every cracker and every chip. Every last bit of food that I like must be banished till all of the additional ounces have vanished. I won't have a cookie, not even a lick. I'll want only to chew on a celery stick. I won't have hot biscuits or cornbread or pie. I'll munch on a carrot and quietly cry. I'm hungry, I'm lonesome, and life is a bore. But isn't that what January is for? Unable to giggle, no longer a riot. Happy New Year to all, and to all a good diet. Before we conclude our first half, we would like to take a moment and humbly ask for your support. You know, the Kalamazoo Concert Band impacts our community in numerous ways. We broaden the educational experiences of our youth. We encourage lifelong learning. We positively impact the local economy by promoting tourism, and we enhance the quality of life through concerts like this one tonight. And so when you support the Kalamazoo Concert Band, you are strengthening your community. And with that in mind, we ask that you please give whatever you can so that we can continue making a difference. And of course, to be sure, every penny would help, but we ask if you would to consider a few dollars per person. Obviously, either more or less is appreciated, and your donation will not only be most welcomed, it will allow us to continue our commitment to providing free, quality music performances for everyone. You'll find a donation box located in the lobby, or if you prefer, you can send a check to the address that you'll find in the program, or you can make a donation through our secure website at kalamazooconcertband.org. And your generosity, of course, is greatly appreciated. You know, as you know, winter never seems to end in our part of the world. We can certainly vouch for that tonight. As a remedy for those wintertime blues, the Kalamazoo Concert Band invites you to their February concert, when for the first time, the KCB will present a Pops concert titled The Great American Songbook. And our guest artist for that show is Jennifer Roberts, who originally hails from Allegan, but frequently appears in New York City cabarets. It's a performance that is filled with all of your favorites, from the likes of George Gershwin and Duke Ellington and Cole Porter and Irving Berlin and more. So you certainly don't want to miss this Pops concert, which will be in Chenery Auditorium on Saturday, February the 28th at 7 o'clock in the evening. And as a reminder, of course, all of our concerts are free. And now, to close out this portion of our concert, we ask that you please enjoy this delightfully whimsical composition that's entitled A Holiday Gallop. Enjoy.